Today's show is sponsored by Center County Highway Revolt. Have you ever wanted to take a day trip to a small Pennsylvania town or hike through the beautiful Appalachian Mountains, but don't want to deal with all the traffic, the high gas prices, and windy mountain roads? The Center County Highway Revolt is a citizen-led initiative trying to save farms and forests, combat climate change, and boost small-town economies by building a rail transit network all across the state. And their plan calls for connections to existing Amtrak trains. Learn more and get involved at centercountyhighwayrevolt.org. CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you today thanks to the Greater Pittsburgh Festival of Books. This year's fest is Saturday, May 31st at the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh in Oakland, where you can immerse yourself in the region's vibrant literary community with a free event that features bookish fun for all ages. Hear from award-winning authors like Rachel Khong, Tori Peters, Sharon Flake, and so many more, plus Grammy Award winner and poet Judy Collins. Visit pittsburghbookfestival.org to register and learn more.
Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, it is almost Pride Month, and here in the city, we like to start celebrating right away. We've got a whole lineup of events coming up this weekend. Of course, there's the March and Parade, where you can look out for the CityCast Pittsburgh team. And there's also free concerts, a drag softball game. There truly is a party for everyone. So to celebrate, I'm with the co-creators of Qberg, Pittsburgh's LGBTQ+ outlet, to talk about etiquette and what's on deck for the gayest month of the year. It's Tuesday, May 27th. I'm Sophia Lowe, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with Jeff Friedman, who, in addition to being super involved in Pride, is also the Grand Marshal for the parade. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
And Jim Shepard, Pride Parade co-chair. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm so excited to be talking Pride with both of you. But before we get into all of the fun stuff, I just want to do like a little check-in. How are you feeling headed into Pride Month? Because with like the political climate, attacks on so many queer and trans protections, like it feels really important this year.
Right. So I'm extremely energized and ready to go.
Good.
Pride for me is not always, it's celebratory, sure, but I always try to remember and center the origin of Pride. And Pride at its heart is a protest. And this year, especially with everything going on in the political climate and the attacks on our trans brothers and sisters, attacks on, the greater LGBTQ community, this year feels really appropriate to kind of take back those roots of being a protest. And I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. That's really great to hear. What about you, Jeff?
Well, I'm a little bit older, so this is nothing new. Having our rights attacked is nothing new to me personally. It's been something that we've been fighting for our entire lives. So it's almost like a repeat, I want to say. We've gone to this incredible, wonderful celebration event. But as Jim mentioned before, Stonewall was a riot. This is a time for our voices to be heard. It's a time for us to be visible and to be seen. This isn't a time to cower away and be afraid. It's the time to stand up and be counted and be present. So more than ever, we need to get out and we need to celebrate Pride.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. I feel like I'm in this kind of like strange position, like growing up when I was a teenager, like gay marriage was passed. So that kind of stuff isn't in my memory. But it's really refreshing to hear from like queer elders that, we are ready to take this on. This isn't like some new frontier that people don't know about.
Right. We've been there. We've done it and we'll do it again.
Yes. That's the spirit.
There we go.
So bringing it a little bit closer to home, how has Pride changed in Pittsburgh since y'all have been here? I know our celebrations have really evolved over time.
Well, I'll let Jeff talk about that because Jeff's experienced many generations of Pride.
Right. So we also have to realize, again, that the Pride celebrations that we see today are not near of what it used to be. Very in the beginning, I'd say in the late 70s, my very first Pride March was in Oakland on a street. It was me. We call ourselves little twinks, little young ones, right? We were like
Yeah.
18 years old. Me and my best friend, we actually marched with a bunch of, I want to say 20-some-year-olds. We were felt really young through the streets of Oakland being honked at. That's what I remember the most. And again, it's grassroots. Step forward a little bit more in Pittsburgh. We had our celebrations in Shady Side and Mellon Park. Again, little festivals. Again, important because as we were growing the community and growing our voice, we got a lot bigger and bigger and better each year.
Right.
Of getting out there.
And now we're at the point of taking over downtown.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, it's incredible the amount of participation that we have right now. Pride is political no matter how you look at it. And there could be nothing more political than getting hundreds and thousands of people together this year, especially in the march. I think the march is really important to participate in the march. Pittsburgh's very, very fortunate that, or lucky, we have a kind of a little bit of a mix here. We have a march and we have a parade.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about that. What is the difference between the march versus the parade?
Yeah, so in 2021, when new Pride organizers took over Pittsburgh Pride, there was a concerted effort to make sure that the Pittsburgh Pride festivities really centered community instead of over-celebrating corporations.
Mm-hmm. No more pink washing.
For a good 10 years, Pride events across the country erroneously centered corporations. So now there's a real concerted effort to center community. So the new organizers of Pittsburgh Pride decided, hey, let's keep the Pittsburgh Pride parade and bring it back to more of that protest style. So the whole front of the parade is the community. That's folks, they didn't pay anything to march. They're just jumping in. They're showing up. They're bringing whatever signs they want, whatever flags they want, and they're marching in solidarity with the community. Of course, everyone still wants to have a little bit of a celebratory parade. So after that first portion goes by, it switches over into, the floats, the drag queens, some corporations and small businesses who are still, standing with the community. But, it's very unique to Pittsburgh. I don't know that a lot of other cities are doing this kind of dual march parade concept.
Yeah, that idea was definitely new to me when I moved here.
Yeah, it's wonderful because it gives everyone a chance to participate. You can either participate on your own with your family in the march, or you can kind of, march with your fellow coworkers or LGBTQ-owned business or any business, allied business in the parade as well. So it kind of offers the best of both worlds, so to speak. And it's a wonderful event. And then at the very end, we have the foam people coming back again this year.
Bubbles, lots of bubbles.
Right. Yeah, the foam party kind of ends it, and then you follow the foam to Pride. Everybody basically that is watching from the sidelines gets to join in and actually be a part.
And I always kind of love the foam party at the very end because everyone loves it.
Yes,
of course.
It's very celebratory. Everyone likes it. But it also serves a little bit of a purpose. It kind of cleans up after us.
Because it's hot and sweaty, too. I bet it feels kind of nice.
Right.
Before we get to, the foam party and beyond, I just want to back up a little bit and talk a little bit more about the parade. Mm-hmm. So give us, the time, location. If people are showing up to the march, do you have to sign up? What do you need to know to participate?
Right. So lineup for the parade starts at 10 a.m. downtown by the Greyhound station on Sunday, June 1st. If you're going to just march in the march/protest portion of it, you can just show up and wait. And whenever it starts and steps off at noon, you can just go with it. You don't need to sign up. You don't need to register with anyone. Just bring your energy, bring whatever signs you might have or flags. We'll provide about 100 or so flags if no one has a flag and wants to carry it. I will also be running around trying to find volunteers to carry the banner for the parade.
Right.
So
nice.
if you want to jump in and help carry the banner, absolutely find me down there. You will be able to find me.
Okay. I mean, I'm guessing the big banner will be sign one.
Absolutely. And I'll be, all decked out in our neon vests so you can see who I am. But then, if you're part of a group who's registered to march in the parade section, that's further into the Strip District past 11th Street along Liberty Avenue there. You'll just show up. There will be volunteers to show you where to line up with your either vehicles or just your marching contingent.
And then if you were watching on the sidelines, when's a good time to hop in?
Oh, great. So if you showed up and you want to watch, but you get really inspired to jump in, as the parade passes you by, you can jump in with the crowd. If you are so compelled by the energy and the spirit of the day, absolutely jump in with the crowd. If you're watching, along Liberty Avenue is a really great place to watch. Along Andy Warhol Bridge is one of the most popular parts to watch along. Jump in there, march for a little bit, and then if you want to watch the rest of the parade, you can jump out and just follow it along and go to the park where the festival will be going on the rest of the day.
Hey Pittsburgh! Today's show is sponsored by Pittsburgh Pride. It is back, it is bigger, it is bolder, it is gayer than ever before. Get ready for a full week of love, liberation, and celebration across the city with Pittsburgh Pride 2025. It all kicks off Sunday, May 25th with the Bigger, Gayer Picnic. Think sunshine, chosen family, and all the queer joy you can pack into one Pittsburgh park. Then on Friday, May 30th, put on your formal or your fiercest. It's the Pittsburgh Pride Prom, followed by the legendary Emerald City Kiki Ball. Yes, the ballroom scene is turning out. Saturday, May 31st, brings the Pittsburgh Pride Festival Day 1 with a free concert featuring Vienna Vienna and American Idol alum David Archuleta, lighting up the night at 7 p.m. And finally, if you can handle it, Sunday, June 1st, come march with your community in the Pittsburgh Pride Parade. Then stick around for the festival Day 2, closing everything out with another free concert starring Jay Howell and the iconic Lil Mo. For all the events, all of the info, head over to PittsburghPride.com to plan your perfect Pittsburgh Pride weekend. That's PittsburghPride.com. Come as you are, show up proud, and we will see you there. Today's show is sponsored by the Dollar Bank Three Rivers Arts Festival, taking over the 15th Street Plaza in the Strip, June 5th through 8th. Arts Fest has changed a lot over the last few years, but it remains free and totally focused on music and art and handcrafts and the very real and wonderful humans who share their talent with the city. You can plan for free music concerts with headliners like Cautious Clay, Souls of Mischief, Tierra Kennedy, and more. Plus, there's always a bunch of local acts from Pittsburgh, so it's a great opportunity to find an artist that you can see again and again here in the city. The concerts are from noon to 9, and in between those sets, check out the Artist Market, where you can find ceramics and jewelry, so many goodies from folks far and wide. There are also ways to get involved. Garba 360 is doing an interactive dance lesson, Ibiji Drum Ensemble's doing a drum circle. The Pittsburgh Cultural Trust finds us so many great folks, and Arts Fest is always a blast. Find the full list of events and learn more at trustarts.org/TRAF.
Can we just talk a little bit about the parade and the history of the parade?
Yeah,
and some of the
absolutely.
contingents in the parade. So the parade always starts off with what was called Dykes on Bikes. And it is basically any lesbian that had owned a motorcycle was able to come to the front of the parade, and they would actually lead the parade.
Oh, wow.
Now, historically, what this was that it basically was the big rom, get the heck off the streets type of deal. The parade is coming, right? As we become a little bit more now into this generation and stuff, we now just call it the bike parade.
Yeah, any LGBTQ bikers, motorcyclists that want to help lead the parade, you can just show up on Sunday, show up to the front of the parade with your motorcycle. We'll get you lined up and you will help lead the parade.
Just have insurance, number one.
Oh, that's important.
Yes, very, very important.
You're not covering any injuries.
No, we do not. We do not. And then second of all, we're very, very pleased to say that Richard Parsakian's flag, the rainbow flag, will be back again this year in the parade, in the march. And that will be second. And his flag has been in pretty much every Pride parade that we've had here in Pittsburgh. So it's very historical, very relevant. And Richard was actually the Grand Marshal last year.
Oh, wow.
So
and it's a huge flag. We'll need volunteers to help carry that as well.
Right. An easy way to participate, hold the flag. So, and it's a great, great, great visual event that when it comes through. So then our banner and the whole Pride March happens after that. So, and it ends up with the foam guy, right? Back to the foam guy. Yeah, it's fun.
So then let's move on to some of the festivities. During that first kickoff weekend, what other big party things are happening?
So everything kicks off Friday, May 30th. The very first event is the Pittsburgh Pride Prom. That's an LGBTQ 18 plus prom event. Think traditional prom. If you want to ask someone to come with you to prom, do a promposal.
That's
bring
very
them
sweet.
there. It's open to all ages, like I said, over 18. If you didn't get an opportunity in high school to take the person that you really wanted to take to prom, here's your opportunity. Directly after the prom is what's called the Emerald City Kiki Ball. That's a voguing ballroom event, if people are familiar with that, like in the show Pose. The Kiki means that it is also 18 plus youth centered. So they'll go right into that. And I think that goes all the way until 2 a.m. And I know Jeff and I will be very much asleep.
We will not be. We will not be there. And then we also want to point out this is all being done by the Pittsburgh Pride Group. So for further information, everybody can look at pittsburghpride.com.
Yeah, and we will also have the link in the show notes. People can head over there.
Absolutely.
We'll make it easy.
Absolutely, because now we're getting all into their stuff, right? Right. So, and then the day of, on Saturday, is they're back at the park, Allegheny Commons Park, over on the North Shore, and fun festivities there on Saturday. They'll have afternoon entertainment in the park. There's only one location this year. Normally, they have split it between Bloomfield.
Yeah, I've been to the Bloomfield one a lot.
Correct. Well, this year they're going to be at the park for 2 days.
Oh, that's okay.
Which is wonderful because we love the shade. It's a perfect location for it. The Pride Group invites everyone to bring blankets and kind of camp out and enjoy the whole day of festivities.
And this is totally free too.
Totally free.
Right. So I believe besides the Pride Prom, everything that Pittsburgh Pride is throwing this year is 100% free to the public to come and enjoy.
Right.
The concerts. So on Saturday, Saturday evening after the Pride Festival Day 1, there is a free concert that is featuring Vienna, who is an artist who got big kind of this past year on TikTok. They have a great song called God Save the Queens. They'll be opening up for American Idol sensation David Archuleta, who'll be coming and bringing his 2 new singles I think he's got now.
Ooh, fancy.
And it's 100% free. That all starts at 7 p.m. on Saturday, May 31st.
And that would be on Saturday night. And then on Sunday is our parade. Woo! The parade is Sunday this year. We always want to make sure that people, we really want to get that message out that the parade is definitely on Sunday, June 1st.
And then that evening, again, there's another free concert Sunday evening starting again at 7 p.m.
It's a long day.
And that's with 2 really big artists. That's Jay Howe, and everyone's very, very excited about Little Mo. So that'll be a really great concert.
Oh, yeah. We love Little Mo.
Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant. 9.5 plus pH, now in cans.
Refreshing.
Made for every way you move.
Should I run a marathon?
Let's start with finishing that water. Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant, now in a sleek can. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Well, I also want to talk a little bit about drag shows. I mean, obviously we have them all year long, but there are so many great ones during Pride. I know performers are coming from outside of Pittsburgh to perform. If this is your first drag show, what should you know going in?
Right. So if it's your first drag show, welcome. It's a wonderful thing.
What took you so long? Right?
It is a wonderful art form that really can be anything. But yes, tipping is usually encouraged at drag shows. For the Pittsburgh Pride stage drag shows, not so much handing dollar bills, $5 bills to the queens necessarily, but they will most likely have a display of some kind that has like a QR code.
For like Venmo or something.
Venmo.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
That's common, especially if you can't, physically access the queen to give them your money. But if it's a more intimate, smaller show at, say, one of the bars over the weekend, I know P-Town's doing a lot of great events that weekend with some big drag artists. You absolutely can tip a drag artist a $1 bill, $5 bills if you really like them, $10 bills. Don't get too silly with the money though. Just hand it to them. You don't know exactly what they might like, so just hand it to them.
And you know what else I've seen, which is really, if they give a really wild number and they're dancing all over the place, the participants will wad up the $1 bills and throw it, and it's part of the prop. It's amazing. So you see all these little dollar bills coming, and even the performers might even collect them and use them as props as well. And
Like some extra confetti.
Right, exactly.
You can always use more confetti during Pride.
Right.
Of course.
Pride is confetti fest.
And then if you're going to a drag show and there are a bunch of performers, what is like the expectation for tipping? Should you be tipping every performer, the ones you really like? How do you go about that?
So how I handle it is usually if you're going to say you're at 5801 or P-Town, who are all having great events Pride weekend, I will always tip at least $1 to every queen that's performing when they come by. And then if it gets into the second set, I will then, I love this queen, they're doing a really good job. That they're getting a $5 this time, but not everyone this time. Yes. So tip all of them in the first round and then be selective with the ones you like the most the second round.
I agree. It's a good rule.
And then besides those venues you just named, are there any other places you really love seeing drag locally?
Let's see. Wow. Trace Brewing is doing a whole lot of drag shows all the time. So if you're you could probably just go to Trace any given day at any given time and see a drag queen and drag
They
show.
do so many drag brunches. Yeah.
Blue Moon is an excellent venue to have.
And Blue Moon has been the birthplace of a lot of really big Pittsburgh born, raised, bred drag queens that have made it big. So if you really want to find true Pittsburgh drag, and the ones that's really celebrated, it's probably at the Blue Moon.
And one thing I've also been curious about is we have a lot of queens coming from RuPaul's Drag Race. Like I've seen Latrice Royale here. I know she's coming back. I know William is part of this year's Pride events. And just so many people show up to P-Town or 5801.
Right.
How do we do it?
I think that's a little bit of a testament to the quality of the drag queens that we have here in the Pittsburgh community. Our Pittsburgh-based drag queens are doing amazing, amazing work, and they're professionals. So I feel like, Indica at P-Town or Dixie Sherwood at 5801, they may have at some point scored a booking with a RuPaul's Drag Race queen.
Gotcha.
They were very professional, and then that kind of just works its way through the network. Hey, they're easy to work with. They're professional. They'll put on a good show for you. We have been very, very blessed in Pittsburgh to be getting all these queens.
Yeah,
so if you're a big fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, June this month, I know that it feels like there's at least 20 RuPaul's Drag Race alums coming.
I mean, we're on season 17 now,
Right.
so.
And Latrice goes, that's old school Drag Race. Back when it was really good.
Okay, shots fired.
Yeah, and even 5801 is having a huge Pride event on Saturday night during Pride. If we can go back into the Pride weekend and events, they're doing stuff. I know that P-Town's having a huge celebration. They're doing a lot that weekend. Blue Moon is doing a lot. I know that the softball league is having their first Glitter and Gloves. It's a drag softball game.
Okay, I like how you made softball even gayer. Good job.
Right, and it's wonderful.
Are y'all running around in heels?
Absolutely,
Okay.
that's part of it, right?
Okay, that makes it harder to slide. I think, or unless you're
depends.
tripping. I don't know. I couldn't run in heels.
Right. But they're all dressed up in their form of drag, whether it be a king or a queen or some sort of drag. And it's just a real campy. It's a fundraiser for the Steel City Softball League. It's the first year they're doing it. And it is highly successful in Columbus, Ohio. They've been doing it for 38 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, you can check out the steelcitysoftballleague.org for further information about that. But that's actually on Saturday at noon. And it's being held, it's also being hosted by Indie Skies, which is a wonderful local drag performer as well.
And then looking forward to the rest of the month, are there any other events you have your eyes on, or maybe neighborhood pride celebrations you really try to get to?
It feels like there's about 342.
I mean, there are 90 neighborhoods
to
in
it.
Pittsburgh already, so if even a half of them are doing a local celebration, that's 45 already. So.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I have a list, actually. I will not read the whole list because we will be here for another week and a half.
But you can find everything, I'm sure, at Cuberg on your
Cuberg.com
calendar.
But, I mean, even alone, I think the 14th, right now on our calendar, we have 2, 4, we have 7 prides going on June 14th. So amazing.
One of them, I think, is the Lawrenceville Pride. That's sort of my area. That's on my calendar.
Right, on the 14th as well. Indiana, PA, Lebo Pride, Vandergrift, Millville, Lawrenceville, Morgantown, and Wheeling.
Ooh.
How about that? So all have prides on the 14th.
Pride is spreading.
It is. It's such an important month for us. And it's just a shame that, we live Pride 365, right? Like there's 365 days for us to be Pride. But it's always nice to have our allies and our friends come out and help celebrate our lives. Because again, I'm speaking as an elder, it wasn't always like this. It was not always like this. Like, I cannot tell you the number of job promotions and stuff that I was just not chosen for because they didn't want we can say queer now, right? A little bit stronger words for that. And so this is nice to see. It's nice to see the city decked out. It's nice to see. And it's also nice to see that we live in a blue city, that we live in a safe city.
I will say that yes, it can be a little overwhelming how much pride there is this month. But if you're of the LGBTQ community or you care for and love the LGBTQ community and say you don't go out all the time, pick a few events this month, show up and show out. Like we started with, it is very important this year, of all years, because of everything that we're going through. A lot of these pride organizations do more things throughout the year. They are, providing housing to LGBTQ individuals who lack housing.
Right.
They're providing health services. They're doing all kinds of things throughout the year. And these pride events make or break their fiscal year. So show up at the businesses, the bars, the events, because it will keep the community going all year round.
Well, Jeff and Jim, thank you so much for both organizing with Pittsburgh Pride and making a safe and inclusive space for everyone where we can also celebrate. And thank you so much for joining us today on CityCast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. 2 tips before I go. Wear sunscreen. You'll be surprised at how quickly you burn. And please wear sensible shoes.
We're always surprised at the number of people that come in sandals. Like, how can you march in sandals? And then at the end of the sandals are off, right? So it's a really, it's an interesting dynamic there. But anyways, again, thank you for having us on, and happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. And one more reminder for Kuberg's community calendar, check out their website for more fun during Pride and all year long. And if you're hosting an LGBTQ plus event, you can also submit the listing online. And for that double event boost, please also email us your event info. We're pittsburgh@citycast.fm. We've always got events in that Hey Pittsburgh newsletter every single day. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to you soon.
There's no gay time when it comes to the beginning of the parade.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because we are 100% on time. We've only been
late. Are you
late
sure?
Absolutely. I will say that in all the years that Jeff has been co-chairing and executing the Pittsburgh Pride Parade, only one time did it not step off at noon sharp.
Okay.
Yeah. And it crazed me.
Then that is really important to know.
Yes.